Breaking news, a huge day of hearings in the Delphi murders case.
We now have a trial date for that case, and we really heard some explosive new information about what's happened while Allen has been awaiting that trial.
Senior investigative reporter Bob Siegel was in the courtroom today. He actually begins our team coverage tonight. Bob, fill us in.
Well, the date we've got circled on our calendars now is January 8th, 2024. That is when jury selection is now scheduled to begin for the trial of Richard Allen, and we're told that that trial will likely last about 3 weeks. Now, the bombshell that we heard about here in court today, the Carroll County prosecutor said Richard Allen has made incriminating statements in prison. Prosecutor Nick McClelland said Allen, and I quote, confessed 5 or 6 times to killing the girls. He did not go into more detail than that. Allen's defense attorney said the alleged statements were generic, and he said, quote, the jury's going to hear all about that when the time is right. Now, we did not have a hearing today on ballistics evidence. We were expecting that to happen, but that's now going to happen later to determine if the state can tell jurors about some ballistic testing that allegedly ties an unspent bullet at the crime scene to a gun found at Allen's home. I was in court just inches away from Richard Allen, and he looked very frail and unsteady today. His health was a big part of today's hearing. His defense wants the judge to move Allen out of the maximum security prison where he's currently being held and move him to the Cass County Jail, which is just about 20 minutes from Delphi. They told the judge the state prison is having a terrible impact on Allen's mental and physical health to the point where he's having trouble assisting in his own defense. The warden at Westville Correctional Facility testified that Allen is the only pretrial inmate held at the maximum security prison right now and for the last 5 years that the staff have been there. And Allen's attorneys say they can't get any privacy at the prison because they say all of their meetings with their client are being videotaped by prison staff. Today, the judge ordered that to stop, and there's a whole lot of issues left in the coming weeks and months for Judge Fran Gall to be deciding. Right now, my colleague John Durand is joining me. John, you were here at court all day, and again, there's a lot here. Explain what's coming up and what lies ahead.
Yeah, well, Bob, we got a long way to go, at least 6 months until that murder trial gets started. Judge Gall still has a lot of motions to decide on before that does get started, including what was supposed to be the most contentious piece of today's hearing that's getting pushed to another day altogether. And that was Richard Allen's defense team motioning to suppress ballistic evidence in the case. Allen's attorneys have raised questions about the state police crime lab's tests that investigators say links an unfired bullet at the crime scene to his gun. We'll hear those arguments another day, but no date is set for that hearing. The judge is also considering the release of unsealed documents in the case. These documents could provide more insight into the probable cause for the arrest of Richard Allen. Tonight, Allen is currently on the way back to Westville Correctional, a maximum security prison. Allen's attorneys want him moved to the Cass County Jail, which is much closer to here in Delphi. The prosecution says this potential move is only about convenience for Allen's attorney. So the judge heard those arguments today. However, we'll be making a decision another day. Jenny, Felicia, a lot can and most likely will come between now and the start of the trial January 8th.